All right, it's 6:08, May 2nd, 2016. Call this meeting to order. Roll calls: Leonard Bud Belcher, Renee O'Donnell, Stanley Skip Smith, and Cindy Grant, Town Manager. Warrants we're going to approve. I'd like to just read them off and then approve as read. Warrants: AP warrant number 122 for $5,575.59. Warrant PY warrant number 123 for $5,924.51. PY warrant number 124 for $22.60. AP warrant number 125 for $2,848.45. AP warrant number 126 for $15,352.05. AP warrant number 127 for $25. AP warrant number 128 for $1,882.75. PY warrant number 129 for $3,595.52. AP warrant number 130 for $2,323.50. And the big and last one, AP warrant number 131 for $620,496.55. I make a motion we accept the warrants as read.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? 3-0. The minutes were tabled. Unfortunately, Gina hasn't got to them. Cindy, do you want to move Mr. Davis up to the front?
Okay.
I'm not in any hurry if you get something.
No, it's up to you, Tom.
Okay.
Entirely up to you. I make a motion. We'd like to have Tom Davis. He's head of the Penobscot County Commissioner, and he's going to speak on PERC's behalf. And
I'll second that motion.
all in favor? 3-0. So, floor is yours, Tom.
I'm not speaking on PERC's behalf.
Okay, you're going to speak on Penobscot County.
I got a call, and they knew what the county had done,
Yeah.
and I guess Vic called me, and a couple other people, I guess, had some interest, and they wanted to know why.
Yeah.
I guess you really spent some time on this, which is a good.
This lady has spent
Yeah.
a lot of time on it.
We've had 2 public hearings, though.
Yes.
You had 2 public hearings.
One with the MRC representative regarding fiberite, and then we had PERC last Monday night to come out and sat down and talk to us. And
What was your take? Just an open conversation.
my take is that PERC is, well, first of all, I think my take from the MRC was this is the only choice, and you have to sign, and you should sign now. And my take on PERC was that they've done their work. They're going to own their plant. They're very capable of going forward for another 15 years, and or more. We don't have to have guaranteed tonnage. We can take our time and think about it. They're not in a hurry. They're not pushing. So I think.
Well, we were concerned, the county commissioners, all 3 of us, and we're unanimous in our position, where there's no dissension at all amongst us.
Right.
And one of the Laura Sanborn is one of the county commissioners, and Laura was in the legislature, and she was on that committee, solid waste, and she was on that committee and is quite well versed in it. And I myself had a lot of interest in it because I had gone to Europe. Nothing to do with PERC, but I'm a dairy farmer. This is most.
I know, my dad turkey hunts out.
I know, Dale's a good friend of mine. And I put in a manure storage.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some things we wanted to do that hadn't been done here in the States. And I went over, it was taxed. I mean, I wanted the trip.
Right.
Okay, let's call a spade. And I decided this is a good time I could write it off.
Right.
And I looked into a lot of different systems that they had over there. And it got interesting after a while. I traveled to Austria and Switzerland, and Germany, and Czechoslovakia, and down on the edge of Italy. And when it comes to solid waste over there, there are a lot, even in Switzerland, there are a lot of big landfills. Still, huge mountains of landfills. I mean, you see the mountains, you see beautiful country, but they still have a lot of landfills in Europe. But everyone in Europe, everybody in Europe, because it costs so much to get rid of your trash, you don't just put a bag of trash out. It costs you to take it. So they do all kinds of things to swallow the waste stream.
Right.
A house over here that would have 2 or 3 garbage cans of waste, over there it might have a little bag, because they recycle and they have gardens, and it's been so expensive that they do that. So when they came to us with, did the fellow from England come?
No.
No, but Cindy and I had gone to Herman's meeting and met, what's his name, Paul?
Stuart Paul.
Stuart
Stuart
Paul,
Paul.
yeah.
Stuart Paul. Well, he came to a number of our meetings, and I questioned him a little bit. And when I questioned him, because I maybe knew the questions to ask, he didn't have the answers. He didn't have the
Well,
answers.
that's one of the most, that's kind of one of the most things, one of the biggest issues I had with the whole fiber right thing is there's not a working plant in the United States that's doing this right now.
You're right. They tried to.
There's
do
a-
it with an Iowa, and
Yeah.
they walked off.
Right.
That's a mess out
And
there.
there's a
And then
te-
they went down to Virginia.
That's their test plant though, is that correct?
In their test plant, there's a little small plant
Right.
that has a managed stream of waste going in there. Not what you get from my place in Kandusky, or the town, or the town, this town.
Right.
They only allow certain things, so I understand it's things would work in that system.
Right.
There's things that would be in the waste stream that they don't let in there. And it's just a little small plant, and they don't know really what, they say it's working, maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Right.
It's in Virginia, it is in Maine, the temperature's
Right.
30 below, and everything's froze up. And so they talked about, they told us they were gonna take care of this waste. The tipping fee was gonna be what,
$70.
$70 a ton. They do it in Europe. But when we checked what the tipping fees were in Europe, and you change the euro to US dollar, it's $170 or $80 a ton in different places. There are all these exorbitant prices, but they're gonna do it for 70 here when it's costing 100. I mean, I felt that they were giving us a line of bull. And when you question them, their biggest selling point is fear.
Right.
You've gotta join.
Right.
You've gotta join.
That's
Well,
true.
They gotta do a few things, but joining that isn't one of them.
Perk's gonna disappear is what they kept saying. Perk's
It isn't
not gonna be.
disappear. They
Yeah.
lied about that.
Yeah.
And you, PERC is gonna take care of it for what, 78, whatever the fee.
84.
84, right.
84.
But if PERC, and the other thing was PERC can't survive. PERC's gonna go out of business. But I know for a fact, there's a contract with Casella, that if PERC goes out of business, Casella's gonna take it for 61.
Right.
Well, why would you wanna sign, or at least the town of Kandusky, where I live, at the town meeting, we voted to stay with PERC, not to go with the MRC.
Right.
And the city manager from Bangor was at our meeting, and she was, and one of the councilors, and I did the question, and she didn't have the answers, didn't have any answers.
There were a couple other things, I'll give credit where credit it was due. Victor Baradelli dug up some information. And there's wastewater. Right now, PERC doesn't use any wastewater. There's no wastewater leaving it. There's wastewater with the fiber right program, but they're not sure. They can only let out, they're going to have to hold it on site because it has to go to Hamden, and Hamden's got to send it to Bangor, and Bangor can't handle it all at once. So they're going to have to hold it on site and let it out a little bit at a time. And then there was a issue with the gas lines.
Yeah, making the infrastructure was the fact, MRC was saying Fiberite was gonna, quote unquote,
Right.
pay for the infrastructure. Meanwhile, as the MRC board was saying that we set $3 million aside for infrastructure.
Right.
You know,
Money.
of
Right.
our money.
That's
Right,
one of the,
That's another thing.
one of the
Right.
biggest,
Money that they're setting aside.
Right.
right, along with the 5 million to buy the land and whatever else they
another
want to
7
do.
million for,
Contingencies.
contingencies, and I have a problem with that board kind of spending money that belongs to municipalities without really asking the municipalities how they felt about it all.
They asked, we have a lady that works for us in roads and mapping. And they wanted her to be on the board, the MRC board. And she came to us and she's unorganized territories where we have her, that she's over the contract. And we said, sure, we don't care. So she went on the board and she bought into it. Just like that, she and the other 3 women, the girl from Roar and the Bangor City manager and the Orono city manager, the 4 of them would go to the meetings, and it was just like a religion to them. They don't want to hear. They don't want to hear anything
Well,
else. But
The 2 gentlemen that were here from PERC the other night, he really explained their process. They had an engineering group that supplied a summary, if you will, of the state of their plant, which is on their website. I don't know if we got it or not, but we did talk to him about that. And that the plant is fine and
as far as we
it's
know,
in
it
good
is.
shape and it can continue to be run the way they've been running it, and, you know.
Because the word was out that we signed a contract with FERC. We didn't sign a contract with FERC. We already have a contract with FERC.
Right.
When the time comes, we will re-sign the contract with FERC. If-
Well, there's one thing, the other thing I really liked about PERC was there's no gap, the guaranteed
Right.
annual tonnage. There's no commitment from us. If we send 100,000 tons or 70 tons, it's
And the thing
70,000
about the
tons.
MRC, another issue with the MRC, you have to have so much tonnage. And they do not encourage, they don't encourage any kind of.
Recycling or composting.
No,
Right.
they don't want that, they want the tonnage.
Right.
They want, I don't care what it is, they want it because they need the tonnage to make it
That
go.
was-
Right.
And I
Right.
mean, my philosophy in the counties has been that you can recycle and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg to do it. Then certain recycling is good. Not all recycling, because some recycling, it's more than what you get out of it.
Right, right.
But there won't be any recycling with
Right.
MRC. They want everything landed in there.
Right. When Cindy and I went to the Herman meeting and listened to Stuart Paul talk, and who was the other,
Craig Launder was there.
Greg Luck,
That's another issue.
right,
I'm on the board of East Main Development District. That's it. I don't, they're laughing. They're probably wondering about East Main, but Greg Launder, that group was in with East Main Development District. They paid for part of the overhead, and that's the way it was set up. There were a lot of groups in there.
right,
Supposed to be under one roof, and it didn't. And Greg Launder moved, took his own, he kind of controls that. And Greg Launder talked to his board, and I think they're in Ellsworth now. But Greg Launder has a job. That's his livelihood with MRC. And that, if
So he-
MRC goes away, his job's gonna go away.
Right, he
Right.
doesn't want to see MRC go away.
No, he doesn't want to see it
Just in
go
case,
away.
you guys, I'll just let you know the other thing. There was no required guaranteed annual tonnage, and PERC also encouraged us to do more recycling. We pursue options with Waste Zero and Exeter Agri Energy, which is,
That's Fogel.
what's that?
Stonyville Farm of Fogel.
Right.
But that's just a That,
But they can take, what he was saying is, we can take everything. We can take this and we can take that and, you
and
know.
that Stonyville, which is a well-run, Fogels are nice people. I mean, they're in the dairy business. This lady over here, you know Fogels. Everybody knows Fogels. I mean,
Right.
the Fogel Library was named for the grandfather. They've done the business years and years and years. And I'm not saying that you would send organic from a town up there. But the organic from Gun Shop and Save and all those places, there's organic coming from a lot of big grocery chains, and it's going up to Fogler's. Well, they don't want that. MRC doesn't want that. They
Right.
want that to end up
In Fiberite,
in Fiberite, which is crazy to
Right.
pay that big money to have to put that through there.
Can I,
yeah,
you guys, just an update, VZ has voted to go with Perk.
They did, I know I taught, and I'm not, but I own land in BC, and I
Yep.
just gave them some.
Yep. But something that's come to light that I have not got any information on yet, but I will, is part of this Perk, MRC thing, is this, these towns that are voting for this are committing a certain amount of trash.
voting for Fiberite.
Yes. And the city of Bangor voted for Fiberite and did, I believe, 28,000 ton, of which 19 of it is commercial trash.
Which isn't gonna go to Fiberite, and they're trying to pass. The
So,
city council is.
right,
They're
so,
trying to pass them to stop there, and it's illegal, they can't do that.
no, they can't. They can't. They do right now and there's no fuss because the only place to take it is Perk. But Casella has this agreement with Perk, and Casella is one of the big ones in Bangor that picks up commercial trash, and they guarantee that is going to go to Perk. So if Bangor only has control of 18 tons that they can guarantee, and the other 19 goes, or 18 and 19,
Right.
but if the difference, that commercial trash goes to Perk, and MRC gets away in that plant and we join that plant, there's 18 or 19 ton a year, we're gonna come up short, and they're struggling right now. The last count was only 72.
Because Rockland and some of those places down on the coast, Rockport, Rockland, Thomaston, Warren, all those places are going to Portland, they're not gonna buy into this Fiberite.
Right, the
And I
towns that they're picking up now are towns that have never been part of MRC to begin with.
Right.
And that was why I asked the question to the MRC when they were here, and I asked the question, if you get enough tonnage, but you don't get enough of us equity charter members to fulfill your obligation of that contract, what are you gonna do? And he said, we'll just have to quit.
I think the biggest thing that I found was they have no contingency plan. In other words, if Fiberite comes in, builds their plant, you have a front end, a middle end, and a back end of this system. They're going to start off with just the front end and the back end
Right.
because right now they're in the process of still trying to develop the middle end. And it's just not, in my opinion, it's just not there.
Well, there's different things they said they were gonna do that they found out they can't do.
Right.
There's certain sugars and they talked about this gas,
Biogas.
the biogas they got is a nasty, very corrosive biogas.
It's dirty.
It's dirty
yeah,
as hell.
yeah.
And there are big problems with it, and they don't think it's something that's gonna, when they use the biogas from the other, I guess it's Sawyer's or one of those
Yeah.
places, they can't hold those engines together that you run the generators with.
Right.
They're rebuilding them all the time.
Right, I can guarantee you Bangor Gas won't let them hook into the pipeline until they clean it to their specs. Yeah, and that is another problem. The other problem between Fiberite and Perk is Fiberite kept on telling us, you know, you need to sign, you need to sign, you need to sign, and MRC went to Fiberite, picked Fiberite out of all the bids, quote unquote, that they supposedly had. And, you know, what was it, 14 months ago, 13 months ago. And it's just happening.
First choice.
Right.
MRC's first choice was to go to Allen.
Right.
Yes,
That's what they wanted to do, and they didn't want this Fiberite.
Right.
They had no thought of using Fiberite. Hell, that was off the wall.
Right.
But after they couldn't go to Olden, now it's the only show in town, so I say in desperation, they're trying to make this work. And I just, Hamden, sure. Hamden, they're gonna build a plant and pay him big money for the,
You're
right.
gonna pay him for the water coming in and the water going out.
Right.
and the tax, you
And
know,
the
the
taxes,
tax
yeah.
base, but.
Yeah. I don't see them collecting enough water to do what they need to do. Because from what the guys at Perk had said, is it takes a tremendous amount of water for their scrubbers to do what needs to be done. And I just can't see Hamden holding all this water to ship to Bangor wastewater treatment plant. The other thing is, my question I only had a couple of questions for the people from Perk was, my biggest question is, when do you need us to sign? Whenever you want to, he said.
Now, it's like trying to be in a dance and trying to take a good-looking girl home.
Yep,
When she's gone, closing time.
you better have 2 six-packs.
That's the time when his beauty is just a light switch away. You know, they kept saying, you got to join, you got to join. And somebody said, we'll wait, and I said, no, we can't wait, because there's a lot of towns who want to know what we're gonna do.
Right,
And we knew what we were gonna do. I said, lay it out there. And when we said we weren't gonna go with Perk, oh my word, they wrote us letters, not Perk, the MRC, they wrote us letters.
Well, I will say this, if we had to choose next week, if we had to vote on this next week, I would vote for Perk, honestly.
Yep.
And the
'Cause
other
I just-
issue is we got a letter from this public relations firm in Bangor, this young fellow and he had been on the city council, and he wrote us a nasty letter, all 3 commissioners he wrote to us. So we got a little suspicious, and we looked into it. If he'd shut up, we wouldn't have thought. But we looked into it, and they're using our money to hire this public relations firm to present this fairy tale to us.
well,
They're spending big money just to, years ago, matter of fact, it was the year before I became a county commissioner, and that was years ago, 32 or 3 years ago. When we were gonna build a jail, I went to Colorado. Before I had even been sworn in, they had a National Institute of Corrections sent us out there on new jail construction. And I took one day, I had enough of it, and I took one day and I went to, it was in Denver. It was in Boulder, but I took John Bragg from NH Bragg's. He had to fly back, and I gave him a ride to the airport. And I decided I wanted to go to the Coliseum, where they have the national stock shows, and then the Denver Nuggets, I think, play ball, where it's a huge building. And I'm a farmer, and I just wanted to see it. So I went to the building, and knocked on the door, and somebody let me in. There were 3 or 4 ranches there. They were on the board of the stock show, the Western Stock Show. And they took me to dinner. We talked for a while. They showed me the whole thing, and they took me to dinner. And we're sitting in what they call the stockyard in Denver. They had a restaurant upstairs in the stockyard. An old-fashioned bar-like, beautiful place. And this ranch is telling me about, in the conversation, he's telling me about British Airways. One of the head pilots from British Airways decided that he was going to promote this beefalo. Did you ever hear of beefalo? It's a gene you cross. Supposedly they were going to cross buffalo with beef, black Angus or something.
Yep.
And it was going to be, wow, going to be the greatest thing since cut sliced bread. And he was trying to, these ranches, and some of them for Texas and Wyoming and Colorado and all over, they had quite a lot of money. He was trying to get them to go in on this group to promote this. And one old rancher, he was kind of dragging his feet and asking some questions. And this head pilot for British Airlines said to him, he said, "Old man," he said, "you better get in on the ground floor." And the old rancher said, "Mister, before I get in on the ground floor, I want to make damn sure there's no one-story building." and that's what this is a one, as far as I'm concerned.
Right,
It's a one-story building.
yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you for coming out, Tom.
Well, I appreciate
We
you
appreciate it.
asking me.
Yeah,
Nobody asked me to go anywhere anymore. You probably won't after tonight.
we can't send you to Switzerland, but we're glad you visited Newburgh.
It's the closest thing I'm gonna get to now.
Yeah, yeah,
No, we appreciate the hearing where the county commissioners think and their,
That
what
was,
they
and
think
we were
about it.
unanimous.
Yeah,
And we
okay.
did a lot of work on it.
yeah.
Well, I will give Cindy kudos. She has been on this for
Ever
months.
since it started,
Months.
you
And I
know.
think the Carmel town manager has done a lot of work on it too.
Yeah.
Herman.
Town
Herman.
manager.
Permanent town manager. Yeah,
Roger?
Roger.
Roger.
Roger, yeah,
Yeah.
Roger Raymond.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
Roger was part of the beginning of PERC at $7 a ton. And then it was 6 months later, they went to $50 a ton.
Yeah.
I was a selectman in Gandusky when the COG started,
Yeah,
Council of Governments, when we, back then, when it was gonna be done for nothing, and they,
Right.
it's easy to say, "I'll do it for $7, and then after you hooked, to jack the price up.
right,
And if they build this place and they tell you $70, in 4 years from now, you're hooked. And you're on the bandwagon. I don't care if they go to $170.
Right.
What are you gonna do?
right, right.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, no, we appreciate you coming, Tom.
Okay,
All right.
I'll go
Thank
then.
you.
Oh, that's all
Thank
right.
you.
We just wanted to.
Thank you, I appreciate you
Yep.
having me out.
You might come to the town meeting and speak.
Well, yeah, I think you probably had enough of me.
I'll give you a plane ticket to here.
Thank you.
All right, minutes we tabled.
Yes.
Old business, fire pond dry hydrant.
I sent that design DEP permit to 2 different, MJ and Al Babcock, and have not heard a word.
Okay,
So I'm gonna look into another one,
yep,
and see what I can find out, but
yep. Did you send it to Wallman?
I was, Scott wants to say something.
Scott?
said he, if I needed help to let him know.
I told her to check it first, so let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
New business, Bangor Humane Society shelter contract.
This is our shelter contract for the next year, and it has not changed in price.
You
So,
need a signature or?
no, I just need a vote from you to okay by,
Yep.
Okay.
Make a motion, we accept the
You're all set.
renewal contract from Bangor Humane Society for a total price of $2,217.93.
I'll second that.
All in favor? 3-0. Winter salt with the county. What's that gonna cost us?
I don't know, that's what this is for, is
Yeah.
to put in for our initial. We generally put, 192 tons is what we estimate we'll use with the county.
Yeah,
And we generally don't
Both
have
of us.
problems using that.
It's hooked to what?
It's part of this first packet. thing.
Let's just say, it's hooked to the Humane Society contract?
Yeah, it's on the second
Okay,
page.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Nope, next, there you go, next one up. Right there.
Well, I thought I looked at that this afternoon, but I couldn't find it. Something's wrong here.
So, if you still wanna do the county salt bid, I'll do it for the same amount. See what, generally they come in cheaper, so.
right.
Then that's the next thing on the agenda.
How's the salt been, Scott?
Good.
You guys have,
We have any issues?
pardon?
We have any issues with it.
No? Yeah, I don't have a problem with that then.
But
Need a motion for that, Cindy?
Nope, I
Okay,
just,
yep, just letting us know. Now the generator contract.
yeah, were you guys familiar with this at all?
I remember reading it a long time ago.
I've never seen it.
Well,
Well,
I just don't know what the thought process was.
You
Number
saw-
one, we had an issue with the generator and had to wait 2 days for him to get out here, which this specifically says that he's supposed to be out here sooner than that. And was this is a 10-year contract.
Well, it's signed 12/12/2005, so I'm assuming that contract is up.
Right.
No, not till 2024, so it's longer than that.
Jeez,
Yeah, I mean, it was,
Nancy signed it in '05.
yeah, and the contract
That was the year I
for
was elected the first time.
Scott?
When it was just me and Skip, buddy, this came about last time. It was just the two of us,
2020.
selectmen. It came about, we looked at this.
Right.
Because there was issues with the generator. They don't show up, they don't do, we questioned it, but at the time, we really, Cindy wasn't town manager, we really didn't, like, have a town manager.
Yeah.
yeah.
So you had no direction for,
Right, we questioned getting rid of it because Central Maine Diesel, the actual generator service company in Bangor that takes care of these generators and stuff, they charge you about $300 a year to come out and service them.
yeah,
They're on call 24/7. We didn't really have any guidance as to whether or not we could get rid of this deal or not because this was, we had just been through an episode where it wouldn't start and everything,
Right.
Serena was town manager then, and we just been through a whole act of Congress with it, and who was it? Glenn was coming in and discovered that there was something wrong with it, and Brent was involved with it. At the end of it, there was something wrong with it, and we just didn't have any guidance when me and Skip dealt with this last as to what we could do. Because whoever's taking care of it now doesn't take care of it.
right.
That thing could start today and not start, and Central Maine Diesel is that's their business, that's what they do.
Right.
Right.
Well, I know one time when we had the Hunter safety course, it kicked on and it shut down. So I went out, unlocked it to go inside and look at it, and Cindy did too, there's antifreeze all over the floor. So I had told Cindy about it that Saturday and Sunday, and guy says, well, I can't get there till Monday or Tuesday. Meanwhile, there's no antifreeze in there.
Called him on Friday when it first started, and the alarm was on again. He walked me through, it was no antifreeze in it. So I filled it full of antifreeze and left it, and then you guys had trouble Saturday and Sunday during the hunter safety
Right.
course. And I called him back, and he couldn't get out here until Monday. And I mean, I started calling him on Friday.
That's
Right.
how he was when
So how long is
same
this
episode.
contract we have now
Yeah.
in place for?
Is this the actual contract?
This is the contract,
Well,
and
I'm
that's
kind of going through it here. I don't see a,
A time?
at the very bottom. This contract agreement shall remain in force and effect through year
2005
2005
to
through
2000.
2020. I mean,
Jeez,
that's why I asked, because you know as well as I do that unless you go to a town meeting, nobody has the authority to sign a contract in more than 3 years.
Was this brought up at town meeting?
I don't believe so. I can't find any signs that it was.
Can we get out of that contract?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, is because
I think we ought to give Central Maine Diesel a call and,
try to find out what the cost is on the other ones and
Yeah.
stuff, and, you know.
What'd you
I mean,
say,
we-
Scott?
with the shelter
600
here,
a-
We need 24/7
I would
coverage, we
assume
can't wait a couple of
600.
days
He
if
does
that's
like
out, and there's
everyone
people here
for
trying to get
$300.
warm.
Right.
That's a 2-year deal. When you pay him, it's for 2 years, Central Maine Diesel.
right.
It's a 2-year deal. He comes for the next 2 years. He doesn't even call you. He comes out and services it, leaves a slip on the door that he's been there. And I go out every Sunday. He leaves a note what time it's supposed to come on. I go out every Sunday at 1. Oh, I hear it. If I get home at night, it's set up. It's got a little red light that
Yeah.
comes on. If it's not working, and it just. And we have, I think, 4 of them now. They just, they come in the battery, they insulate the batteries, heat the batteries. That thing out there has never really been taken care of, I don't think,
No.
by this gentleman.
I mean, I would like to see where the town voted to allow her to sign a contract
I've looked, I can't find any sign of it.
for 15 years.
Okay. Dig into it, Cindy.
Do you want me to look and
Yeah.
get some prices? And-
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you know, if that had been, you know, cold weather and we had people up here, you know, for shelter purposes and trying to keep this building warm and had to wait till Monday,
Right,
we'd have been in trouble.
right, because it's a 30,000 kilowatt, 30,000 watt Kohler emergency power generator. Okay. Town report items, dedication and selectmen's report, annual warrant.
Do you have any ideas on a dedication this year?
Wellman paving.
I don't know.
I just kind of putting the thought out there. I don't need the answer right now, but I'd like to have it
Okay.
soon. And which one of you is going to do the annual letter in the town report?
Skip, your turn.
Good.
Let's dedicate it to Skip.
I don't have a problem with that.
And
Should
the
be
other
a dead
thing,
person. I'm almost there. but
No,
I'm
no,
not
no, no,
there.
that's not what I meant. Cut it out.
the other thing is I was hoping to set up another meeting here in like 2 weeks with you guys, have a selectmen's meeting, so we could hopefully have the budget and the warrant done and
Okay,
the town report hopefully almost finished.
okay. So be thinking about this little line item right here.
Yes, please.
So, you want to have a meeting the 16th?
I think so. Is that on Monday?
Yep. 2 weeks from now.
Yep.
Skip, you good with that?
Still in.
You looked up, Skip?
I'm awake, Scott.
You good with that?
Yes, I am.
Make a motion, we have
Not
another,
much happening, I can't holler or anything.
I make a motion, we have another selectmen meeting, May 16th, 2016 at 6 o'clock.
Second.
All in favor? 3 out. Hazard mitigation plan resolution.
That sounds wicked exciting.
No, you wait till you read the hard copy of it.
You guys are familiar with that.
Yep.
So, in order for them to get, the okay on this, they need our endorsement, I guess. So, I thought I brought one to sign, but I guess this one will do. If you guys are okay and
Yep.
wanna vote, if you wanna sign this copy of it,
I make a motion, we accept the adoption of the Penobscot County Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Second.
All in favor? 3 out.
Thank you.
Board goals and a plan for the future.
This came up at the budget meeting the other night
Yeah.
as a thought, so we don't have time right now to do it, but
Something to give us to think about.
Yeah.
something to, after we get through town meeting, to get on and get a plan together, and
Yep.
I'll leave it on the agenda, just,
Yeah, do
Well,
that.
one of our goals is being met by tarring these dirt roads, I can tell you that,
Right.
which was a big goal.
You're gonna have to find a new goal.
Yep. Buy the school, put a fire station up here.
That'll work.
You can overlay the roads if you want.
Do what? Overlay 'em?
Overlay the roads if we want.
Well, it's funny, Scott, because,
It's not that funny, buddy.
no, I know. You say that. When Jeff from Sewell and his partner were here, and the bids come in at 1.5 million roughly, we're all getting ready to leave, and I says, well, geez, what are we gonna do with 500,000? Well, he says, well, the state has a program that if you want to tar like 69 in Newburgh, they will pay for half of that and we can pay the other half. And I'm looking at him like, really? You want us to tar 69 and pay half of that? So I just thought that was kind of funny. Department reports, we doing those? Yeah.
Yep.
Fire, which we got. Anything you want to add to that, Linda?
You got the fire calls in there?
Sure do.
Okay, we're all set. That was for April, right?
no, this is March.
Yep.
All right. April, the fire calls is all I got. Mutual aid on the 27th to Carmel. Mutual aid to Hamden for a wildfire on the 17th. Another call on the 17th to the Tapley Road. Fire call. And that was mutual aid to Dixmoor on the 12th. On the 7th, utility problems on Western Avenue. On the 17th, utility problems on the Mudgett Road. And a personal accident on the 5th on Western Avenue.
Okay. Anything else under fire? Rescue? Kelly's not here.
And when they go.
She's so lucky. Roads. Brenda Scott. Scott.
Dr. Scott.
Scott.
We've been pretty quiet, really. We had a call from Glenn today. It probably wouldn't be fire department with us, about, we put the local traffic only signs up.
Yeah.
I guess the
Yeah.
ambulance got misconstrued this weekend. And there was a very sick young child. And for whatever reason, I'm not sure how or why, normally on the weekend, a local traffic only sign doesn't mean that the roads, it's pretty rare to see a bridge missing or a road going up unless it's well known about. But they went all the way around through to Carmel to get to a part of Newburgh, I guess, because of local traffic only signs.
They came out to the end of the road and the sign said road closed to local traffic, and it was a call on the Lindsay Road, and they didn't know whether they could get through.
So they went back and came all the way around, and I told Glenn I'd mentioned it to you guys, but that commonly wasn't what those signs meant.
Right.
Right, that's,
I mean, throughout the day, yes, but I mean,
In- was it an ambulance that came
Yeah, it was
out?
Capital.
They didn't know, being from out of town.
Oh,
Right.
I was
But
saying, you
really,
would,
maybe that sign, if you could take it down on the weekends or
well, that
something.
was the whole point with, I think, we would ask for that, and I think was to cut down on the traffic on that road for a while everything was going on, and,
right.
you know, people can travel on it.
You would think that the ambulance would just say they're gonna go where they're gonna go. I mean, it's just local traffic only, doesn't mean that there's a bridge out, like
But
you
it
said.
says road, that's not what it says. It says,
Road closed.
it says road closed.
But it says road closed, local traffic only.
Right, but you don't know how far local traffic is going, and they didn't know how far up the road they had to go.
And normally when there's no work going on, those signs are taken down.
Yeah, 90. Just take those down.
Okay,
Oh, I did have one more thing on the fire while we're right there. You going to be able to tar in front of the addition, in front of the firehouse? That was part of the deal at one point, that you tar, that's gravel in front of the firehouse addition doors, where the ambulance.
Not that I'm ever aware of.
That wasn't. part
No,
of
that
it.
wasn't.
that wasn't part of the bid or contract.
Okay.
I mean, do you know something different?
I was asked to ask because a couple of guys understood that, and I remember talking about it at one point. I didn't talk about it, but I think Glenn did about it, that you would do that while you were paving.
And we'd like to have it done while
Right.
we were paving.
We can check the minutes, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't part of it
I'm pretty
because,
sure it wasn't in the bid package.
no, because we're trying to eliminate putting money into that building, let alone that land,
Yeah, we know.
so.
Is that, you know, of course you guys don't know how big North Road has been to deal with. It's been regraded every other day, and you get everybody's input on it, not enough calcium, not enough of this, and we used 80 bags of calcium this weekend on the North Road. That's by far more than this town's put out in the last 10 years on all its roads.
Right,
I used to live on the end, I lived on the end of the North Road then, when it was dirt for quite a few years, so yes, it's bumpy, and yes, it's dusty, but there's an end in sight, so I'm just,
And all the other roads have laid in good, and they've been great. I mean, minimal dust.
right.
The grade to them stayed. We had to brush them before we paved them. That road is just been a never-ending battle to
Yeah.
keep it that way. We're anticipating a very excessive grade job before we do pave it, but we gotta wait until they're done setting poles and screwing the road up. We're gonna send somebody over to brush it tomorrow again.
Okay.
But I mean, we've used 120 bags of calcium since we reclaimed it. 80 of them this weekend with water.
Yeah.
Lane's water truck's been out here consistently. We're staying on that road, I guess, the best we can, but the other roads have been fine. People have been quiet, been happy that they've been graded, the way they've been graded.
right,
We do have to address, you had mentioned to me, buddy, about the shim on Chapman Road.
yeah,
Take care of that spot.
yeah,
The only concern I got after looking at that this afternoon is, that's great, we can do that. I had mentioned to you about, that's gonna need some gravel, something to do with the shoulder there. That really should be done before we overlay the road. But, I mean, that's gonna be an excessive,
you're probably looking at a foot,
yeah, I mean, the time you shim that in, I mean, it's only with that one, because you're not gonna use anything on the center line, but
right,
there's gonna be a strip there, we're gonna set back and forth 4 or 5 times and shim that in and pave that to bring that.
Where is that?
just this side of Route 9, it's where the kid wanted the guardrails put up,
Cross where they burnt the house, almost.
right.
Oh, okay.
Right. What it is, the road is slowly sinking. I mean, you can see where they built it. It's just like down on 69 where the road's given away into the swamp right after the bridge. I asked Scott if he was gonna shim it, and he said he would, but once we've looked at it, it's gonna be an excessive shim. The thing is once you shim it, you're gonna have to add a shoulder to it. And I think that's what you're talking about now.
And the biggest thing is we should have had the shoulder before we put the surface pavement on that road.
Right.
Right.
Otherwise, you're just gonna blow it out the side.
We didn't have a chance to do a cost on the shoulder this afternoon. I mean, I would assume, I mean, this is just guessing, but dude, they have gravel and rock and material. I mean, I think you're looking at $5,000 or $6,000 just for some big rock to stack and
Right.
to put something there to hold the gravel. I mean, I'm just guessing, but when you're talking some good sized rocks stacked up to that, that's quite a bank.
Yeah.
It's gotta be 15 feet down there to
What's the pitch on that
right now it's probably 25%. It's excessive.
Yeah. It is. That's where everybody goes off, because, in fact, when I come across there, and if there's a car coming the other way, I stop on top of the hill and let them go by,
Yeah,
just so I can ride on the other side of the road.
I think, you know, that's gonna be an additional, just to stack rock and add gravel, and then you get a true accurate number on it, but I just, well, you guys know that's a little bit of a project to make that's what's gonna stay there, for sure.
Okay.
And we did, we'd be better off rotating them all. But they did the Littlefield Road, the intersections all cleaned up. Went out through there, we still got to grade the super, elevate everything to make water run the other way, and cut the hill a little bit. To be honest with you, the trees, the fence, none of that, I went out through there today twice, just around the circle to check things out. The trees, the fence, none of a bit of that matters as long as that 45-foot camper is parked in that driveway. None of it matters.
Yep.
Not an iota of it.
Yep. And when I went up to talk to Randy and Pam again last Friday at noontime, he had his truck hooked up to his camper. When I pulled up, you guys had pulled all the lilacs out. I still couldn't see past there as long as his truck is sitting there. Any truck is sitting
It
there.
was just his camper today, and you can't see. The only solution I got is like you guys had mentioned that night, is a couple stop signs, and you're gonna have people drive through, and you might have a few small accidents, but
Right.
it's put stop
If we
signs
made
up.
that a three-way stop, though, if we had stop signs, I think
People
that,
and all them stop on their side because they don't want to get run over.
right,
Right.
right, they don't pull right out
And
anyway.
just
Right.
do
Yeah.
that and some stop ahead signs. There's no visibility there, and there's never gonna be as long as that house is there, and as long as he's got a camper and
Right.
and a full-size pickup, you can't see anything.
Cindy, do we still have money in our road budget? Plenty.
Can I ask a question?
Sure?
Because this whole fence thing has come about, so I guess I need a decision as to the fence. According to the MMA letter, you had a couple of different choices. Is it necessary to move the fence?
I
To do
think
what
it-
needs to be done there?
Where, not really, but where it's located, I mean, there was some other townspeople that showed up when we met, and
That's what I'm trying
by the
to,
law and the way it works, it's not supposed to be there.
What did our code enforcement say?
well, she read the letter too, and one of the options is, yeah, it is in the roadway, yeah, it shouldn't be there, but it all boils down to, do we need to have it moved to do what we're doing now? If we don't, MMA said we could just get them to sign an agreement, file it with the registry, that they are very well aware that it is in the right of way, and the town is not responsible, and there is a chance in the future that they will have to take it down.
Any damage to it is not, nobody's
Right.
liability, their liability, none of our liability.
That's what everybody says.
I mean, the way we're doing it, you end up with curve there and a 4-foot shoulder
Right.
with grass before the fence, I mean.
Right.
And the visibility, well, no, we're gonna grade it off so it runs the other side. So, but the visibility, I didn't, today, I mean, driving through there, almost all is gone, there's no improvement.
Right.
I don't know, I don't even know for the dump truck, I think it'd be worse, cause you're really gonna be looking at his camper.
Right.
If he leaves it there.
I thought you decided last winter, before I left, back in January or December, that you were gonna have to take the fence down. I was at a meeting when you
They were
decided.
going to move it.
They were gonna move it.
They were going to move it.
That was before I left, and you're still.
Right.
Now that we've looked at the rules and regulations and the laws,
Can't,
number one, we as a town can't move it. Number two, Wellman's can't remove it because it comes liability of us. We'll be owning the fence. We don't want to own that fence. So we have them sign a waiver on it saying if anything happens to the fence, whether Wellman's plows snow up against it, knocks it over, or the wind blows it over, they're liable for it, not us.
But if it's in the road, aren't you supposed to be seeing that they move it? If it's in the road,
That's
It's
their
not-
choice.
The argument was about the middle of the road the last
That-
Yeah.
time I was here.
That's their choice. They can, if they want to, make them move it back to the edge of the right of way. Or they can just file a paper with the registry and leave it there, and the agreement says that these people are very much aware that this is in the right of way and that they are responsible for it. The town is not responsible if there are any damages to it, and there is a chance it will have to be moved in the future.
The edge of the right of way, just for the record, is like their living room.
Yeah.
Right,
The house is just,
their
it's an old,
sofa.
is an older home that was built way too close to the road years ago. And they're a young couple, they have the fence there for the protection. They have two little kids.
Yeah,
Play outside, and they just like to keep that fence there for their children. I don't really know.
I don't
You
know why
know.
you couldn't just move that road over.
because number one, we don't own the land, and you'd have to get if I remember correctly, a registry to move it over. And the other part is the telephone poles on that side of the road, which means you'd have to call Hydro to come over and move the poles. So, as long as, the way I look at it, as long as Scott can still tar and do what we need to do there, and as long as Dana, Willie, if he's the one plowing, can still plow that corner, I don't have a problem with it.
They were all susceptible to the answers as long as we put that, other than the fence, which that's between you guys, them, and them.
Right.
I don't know if this is ever a good answer with that fence. But everybody was susceptible, and even the people we talked to, as far as Aaron was, as long as we put an apron on that Severance Road, it must be now.
Yeah,
As long as we put a small top apron there to divert the water, so it wasn't all going into their road, they didn't care.
right.
Was how they left it.
The neighbors were happy then. I mean, the people
Yeah,
around there
everybody
was,
quiet, other than about the fence, it was
Yeah.
a little rocky still, but as long as we paved that so that they had an apron on that, the 10, 15-foot apron on that road to divert water, to keep it going down Littlefield Road, they didn't care.
well, you hate to make somebody spend money to move a fence if they don't have to move a fence. I mean, they're just a hard-working young couple with two little kids. That's why they've
Right.
got the fence up, so.
But they didn't inquire when they put the fence up
They did not inquire when they put the fence up.
as to
That's
where
correct.
they should put it.
Right,
That's the hard thing.
right. So,
And Randy put that fence out there just to be ignorant in the first place.
say that again?
Randy put that fence way out there just to be ignorant in the first place,
Okay,
years ago. And I'll tell you that. So,
okay.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
two wrongs don't make a right, so.
Well, it does sit right, I didn't know about the agreement over to Uncle Bun's, which is down, was down, and when it snowed, that fence is in the road when you're going down through there in the winter.
As long as we don't have to hot top around it, we'll work on it.
Yep, Scott's you said you're gonna run a curb from their mailbox out around the corner?
Around, there's gonna be a 4-foot grass shoulder there, so
Yep,
it won't even matter. I think the only other question we had is we've had Coles out that league with us,
yep,
Consalon doing reports.
Yeah, I got,
We're
yeah,
testing with
We
PQI
get a bunch of those
ourselves.
reports.
yeah.
Do you want us to continue on having Coles doing tear out checks or let them go, or? It's not a huge deal left.
I would feel more comfortable if Coles continued.
What
During
we
their-
run into is their schedule.
Okay,
They pop in for 2 or 3 hours and they leave, but we're there with a PQI testing. We're doing just like we would if there was a DOT job. I mean, Jeremiah's doing his stuff, he's tested for density, thickness, and
yeah,
like normal. We sent the box samples back to them. They tested the asphalt.
okay,
This week's been on hold for a little while, rain starts to issue.
right.
So we can't get our hot top for a day or 2 or 3 maybe. So we planned on surfacing legislation tomorrow, but that's gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Lanes is having some issues right now, staying up with all their customers.
Oh.
So Sergeant will be running hopefully in the next day or 2. Somebody will be, and we opted not to go with Thibodeau just because of previous ordeals and
Yeah,
so on and so on. So we feel that Sergeant either needs to get up and running or we'll wait for lanes. So we are on
that's fine.
wayside on paving it now for a few days.
But you know, if you just get those reports, if you wanna email them to Cindy,
Yeah,
that's
what we did with the
what
last
I
batch.
just like to see them.
They just won't
to
be there all
continue.
day every day, but they've been out periodically periodically checking on us, they show up when they feel like it, and do a few densities, and grab a few samples and check thickness, and
Okay,
Jason's been out, I don't know, 5 times, now 6 times. And if he's not busy, he hangs out, but if he's gonna go, he stands up 2-3 hours and checks everything.
okay,
The same that he's out, but just wanna make sure. I'm fine with paying him to be there, I don't
Okay.
gotta protect myself too. Just in
Okay.
case you guys didn't see him there sometime, that's why I do him periodic, yeah.
okay.
Is the bog road gonna be paved or not?
It's all done.
Fine, good,
The bog road is done?
Do you guys already do the North Road extension?
Get behind
Yes,
today.
Yeah.
today.
Good.
That's what she calls
We're
them.
waiting on surface to do, because of the poles,
Right.
and we were hoping, because they're doing so much on North Road, we were hoping to hold off till they were done, because they couldn't give us any definite locations, they couldn't give us anything with the poles, so.
Did you guys talk to CMP?
Yeah, we both did.
Yeah. And I went down to the culvert too, Renee, on the far end.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It's a huge brand new culvert,
okay,
is all I could find, unless
Yeah.
I'm missing something. If you get a house number, something, text it to me or
all
whatever.
right.
but
I'll go down.
I went down and all we could find was a new plastic 24-inch culvert in that bog area.
All right.
Down by.
Down to foot that hill?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right before the town line.
Yeah.
There is a wetland area there, but it's
Yeah.
like acres of wetland.
yeah, that might be the problem.
Yeah.
Drain it.
There's a fairly
I'm
new
with that.
plastic
I'm down with
culvert
that.
there. We couldn't find anything that would make it any better.
Okay,
But if you wanna check it out, we got a week before we're gonna surface it, so.
okay.
Did,
check it out.
there by Lou Whitaker's, I know there was a lot of, did you ever do anything more there besides just,
We had to gravel and reclaim the road, the test borings didn't show for it to be dug out, it showed that there was water sitting around the road. And that was the problem with that whole road,
it's not gonna be any better than,
where you gonna put it, it's in the middle of a bog.
yeah.
Yeah,
Where
at
is in
the,
the water?
at the foot of that hill is all boggy right there.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
can't get the water away from the base of the road,
Do what you can.
I mean,
Scott?
and-
Down at Farm Road, are you putting that off last?
yeah, we're waiting to hear on the,
Are you gonna be able to hold out that long? Cause we're not here until the 1st of June.
yeah, we'll go do something else and we'll come back and
Okay.
if we might be a few weeks starting that could drag on a little bit.
Kinda
but it's
holding
just
off to
there.
that grant, the 1st of June.
Right,
So
Right.
if we get that, then.
Can we get that road graded?
We're gonna grade it, yeah.
Okay.
We'll,
I know that top end's terrible.
yeah, we'll brush that and we're gonna do the small one. Steve's actually out of town for a few days, that grader operator, but when he gets back, we'll do all the small ones and do Dairy Farm Road.
Yeah, don't forget my sign down here.
No, we're gonna put Phil in there and Phil all around that. We actually, me, Eric, and Jimmy talked about it.
And
What
there
sign?
is pieces of culvert out back that
That for down
you
there.
can put on either side of that
The
culvert.
the problem is
Wide.
down there is I'm having Scott, we're gonna extend the culvert up and we're gonna make that driveway a lot wider
So you can plow.
so you can plow around
Oh,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Right now, when Brent plowed it, the only place you can put the snow is up against the sign.
Well, I pushed it on both sides and I shoveled in front of the sign.
Right. So if we can put a place to push the snow,
right.
so when Gina goes down to put
Change,
sign.
change the words on the
Right.
sign.
They missed Brent this one, there was nobody to show.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, Brent.
So now we'll get that graded and we're just gonna, the only thing is with Dairy Farm Road, when that comes about, we could be a few weeks out at the time she gets approval on doing it, but I'm almost thinking once they give you approval on it, they're gonna make you wait until September anyways,
Right.
because of the fish in there.
Yeah.
Because there's salmon coming up
But
that
we'll make
brook.
sure we say, if it does do that, there'll be plenty of time at the end to finally surface it. and get it done. So,
But we could do it ahead of time and just wait for the money.
yeah, however you wanna do it, if you wanna do it that way, as long as the fish people approve it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah, we're not worried about getting paid for that.
Okay.
or whatever. We'll trust you.
Okay. Anything else on the roads? Brent?
yeah,
No?
you know,
Got your signs all marked out and
yeah.
rec? Kelly? No?
Buddy, you got anything to say about rec?
Yeah. We need more money.
Who don't?
Who don't, right, who don't?
Try me or ever.
She put a letter to,
why not?
put a letter to the town report It's not finished. But we do have to put an article in because we've been getting donations. And the article is going to read, to see if the town will accept donations and payments to the Newburgh Rec Committee to be placed into a designated fund account, Newburgh Day Fund, for the support of activities and events run by the Newburgh Rec Committee, and the future creation of a scholarship fund for a Newburgh resident graduating from Hampton Academy.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So we would like to do that.
Oh, this is my favorite one. Next. Do this one.
Yeah. Well, library? All right, Gary, you're all yours.
It's all you.
We're all set.
Okay.
Cindy?
Spring cleanup has been set for June 25th. I need a purchase order signed for the rescue to purchase the AEDs.
Okay.
The invoices behind it.
And this is, we were talking the other night, she's still got money in her budget, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
You need a signature.
it's supposed to be board approval, so as long as you guys are okay, one can sign it, I guess. And just to let you know that we got back the money we spent on the North Road for having it fixed this winter.
We did.
I did.
Oh, well, how about that?
$400?
$586.
Perfect.
So,
Fantastic.
Want to call my wife.
Not
Yep.
feeling good? You what?
Time for me to head home.
Let me get you out there, bud?
I got you.
We'll just pause for a minute.
he was
What's
pretty
that?
quiet.
Yeah. Doesn't feel very good.
I'll check and if you got it, I'll give it back to Gail when it comes in. Or you come in.
She's pretty good at that, but if you've got her already, I'll give you a second one. You don't want a second one. I understand, but library book, that little sticky note she did. I usually keep the ones from the library downstairs, and we don't, they can go upstairs. She, it was when she was trying really hard to learn to read.
So Brian, what'd you think of Tom's input on the trash thing?
Oh, I pretty much made up my mind after hearing perks. There's a lot more going on than we know.
Yeah, there's a lot more, there's a lot of underlying things in there.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna take a position now after these meetings?
Are we presenting?
Well, that's, in 2 weeks, we've gotta figure something out. Either they're gonna, I'm waiting to give a third choice, because Glenburn is, got their attorneys trying to work on an article that is an either or.
No.
But the one, so, you know, cause these guys, they haven't wanted to make a choice, so,
But I think you probably should.
Yeah,
There were so few people that came to the public meeting.
Well, that's what I would like to present it at the town meeting, that you know, and maybe, we kind of wanted the town to vote on it, but, you know, you have these public meetings, you get 5 people.
Right.
So nobody really knows what 5 people know, but,
They don't care, they just wanna complain later.
yeah, they,
Well, that was why I said, you know, would Tom come out
to the
to
town
the
meeting.
town meeting
Yeah.
and speak?
Oh, he probably
He's a
would.
very good speaker,
Yeah,
and a lot of people know him.
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
no, I don't mean notorious.
Well, yeah, that's not a bad choice of words.
I was just stopping, yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, they was, you know, a voice from outside, from the county commissioners
Right,
who have looked into it.
right,
You know, he's got a lot more background.
yeah,
He spoke at his town meeting and they went with Perk.
yeah,
They actually went with Perk prior to the county,
right,
because his town meeting was the weekend, and then the county commissioners met on Monday or Tuesday.
right.
Trying to find
So-
something that's missing.
I guess, you know, like I said, I'm waiting for that third choice and then bring it all to you guys. And,
Right,
you know, do you wanna pick one, or do you wanna put this and let them pick it?
right,
Because if I can't get an article, you can't put two articles in. Because if they
Right.
pass them both, we're in trouble.
right. It'd be nice to,
So
it
you
would be
gotta
nice
have an
to,
article that's worded so it's an, you know, it comes out one the winner. Or the board will have to pick one to go in there.
right. It would be nice if, we could inform them, you know, what's going on.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some, it's a little bit about it in the paper, but not an awful
I
lot about
found
it
the
in the
paper
paper.
misleading though.
Yeah, I find the paper very misleading, yeah,
That last one was pretty good about Perk
yeah,
and Casella. That
yeah.
one.
and I'll tell you somebody else that would probably come and speak, on Perk's behalf is Bob DeShane.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, did I send you his summary or whatever you call it? I should, I don't know if I sent it to Buddy. Did I send you Bob DeShane's thing on Perk?
I think,
About,
His
the Park
plan?
versus MRC,
Yes.
this one?
He's
Yeah.
been gathering information and doing a point system for between the two.
Yes, yeah. He's got, at the end of each little paragraph, it says 0 points,
Yes.
0 points.
Yeah,
1 point for perk.
yeah, he's another one that's been very, and he's in the legislature, and he was on the trash, too, so.
Yeah, so,
Nobody comes.
When I first started going to these meetings, trying to gather information for these guys, the first couple of meetings I went to down in Hamden with the MRC fiber thing, they were really good. Well, then a group of managers organized, and I went to that first meeting, and I was mortified at what was not being said at the other meetings, that was coming out in those meetings. And then when I went to the first Perk meeting in Brewer, you would have been so embarrassed. You know, it just was terrible. It was a slugfest.
Is that the one that forced them to attend different meetings? Is that the
No,
one where they both?
no, what happened was MRC and Fiberite started having these public meetings down to Hamden and different places, informational meetings. That was just after they all set this preliminary contract in front of us and said,
John, get here.
tell us what you think.
yeah, she's coming.
Is he okay? He's sitting up, is he
Then
up?
they turned around and a couple of those, well then, they kind of put the push
No
on
wonder he doesn't feel
Perk.
good.
So Perk came up with
Poor
a
thing. He
contract
tries hard.
and started having public informational meetings. And their first one was in Brewer at Jeff's Catering. And so I went. And the MRC people were rude, brutal, nasty. I mean, just, and from that point on, it was all, I was going to the managers' meetings and stuff, and nobody dared to speak up and ask questions about this thing, these, municipalities and stuff, because these MRC board members that are municipality employees were like big bullies. You didn't dare ask any questions that might insinuate that you're not quite
On board?
on board with this whole thing, and the only one that did was Roger Raymond over there, and I'll tell you, they have chastised him. They threatening emails, I mean, it's bad. It's terrible. But he said, I'm not gonna give in to him. He goes, I went through this once, he goes, 28 years ago, he goes, and I'm gonna learn from my mistakes. And he goes, and if I can tell you guys something to help you not go through what I went through 28 years ago, I'm gonna.
Oh, that's good.
So,
All right, we'll continue on. Skip had to leave. Town manager, spring cleanups, June 25th,
yep,
2016.
we got a check for the insurance claim for the road, and all I other had was the purchase order signature.
You'll have, are we having another newsletter come
That
out
was my next question.
before spring cleanup?
Probably, because I'd like to send out a small one, just a reminder for spring cleanup and town meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Public comments?
Cindy called me the other day and told me the budget committee wants to eliminate my job,
Yes, sir.
and I'd like to know why.
Well, it's not because we don't love you, number
Okay.
one.
That's fine.
With all the roads being upgraded and fixed, we don't know if there would be anything to do.
Well, as road commissioner, you should know more about the roads than I do.
Well, that's why we kind of came to the conclusion. When the position first started, it was sort of an on-call, as-needed thing, and then it kind of grew into something that, I mean, quite honestly, we don't have the money for our public works department or anything like that, any semblance of that. So you were a big help when, little things were going on, but I think now that the roads are all upgraded and all hot topped and paved, I would love to say that we would be happy to call on you when something has to be done, but I don't know what that has to be done is.
Okay, so there's no preventative maintenance. It's like you buy a car and as long as it's full of oil, all you gotta do is put gas in it. You never have to do preventative
Well,
maintenance.
that's true. You've got a point. I mean, I'm sure there'll be things that come up.
So you're gonna have to contract it out, correct?
If it's preventative maintenance like ditching or a little more gravel here or stuff like that, I mean, we don't own equipment, so it would have to be contracted out, yes.
Okay,
You
so
don't think this plowing, you're gonna need him either?
where's the savings,
Well,
I guess?
we don't really know if there's anything we're gonna need anything
Until it comes up.
until it comes up, until it happens. I
don't care whether it's me or somebody else, but I think the position shouldn't be eliminated as a taxpayer.
okay. All right.
I think if you ask Brent to come in your next budget meeting,
Yeah. Sure. Wednesday night. It's Wednesday night. As it stands right now, cutting here and cutting there, to get the mill rate, to meet the budget, the mill rate will have to go up $1.10. So
So the
we're,
little budget of mine is interfering with that?
well, it's all the little parts and pieces of the budget,
the rec committee asked for $7,500. We cut it down to $5,000. That was $2,500, which is a little bit.
Well, you take your winter sand last winter, you run out of sand. He shortchanged you 1,000 yards. The mildest winter we've ever had, and you run out of sand in January. Every town around for 100 miles got over half a building. And when you back a wheel up.
well, you know what? We'll ask that question.
And shut the doors, you ain't got enough friggin' sand in there. I told you guys that. No one watching him.
Did you have to buy sand this winter?
Yep, 1,000 yards, $14,000.
before
That's why it's on your waiting
January?
list.
Did we, Cindy? Did we? Yeah. Craig?
Mildest winter we ever had.
As a taxpayer, I think it would be a bad idea to eliminate the position. There is gonna be maintenance that needs to be done. Stuff like the winter sand, somebody should be keeping track of that other than the contractor.
I really didn't even know that.
Somebody should be keeping track of that.
Yeah.
You
And-
didn't know it?
I just say, there's gonna be maintenance that needs to be done on the roads. You're gonna have roads that are gonna fail. What he's doing right now is gonna fail.
You think what Scott's doing,
In my personal opinion, as an inspector for the DOT, what I do for a living is watch contractors build roads, hot top. I think a lot of things that he's gonna do is gonna fail. I personally. think
can you give me some
Yeah, I was gonna
examples?
say
Because the last time I knew Craig, Brent and Kendall came to us and said, these roads are ready to be paved. They're in the best condition they've ever been.
Down in front of Lou Whitaker's house on the North Road,
Yeah?
that is gonna end up just like it was before. If you do nothing with it but add to it, it's still gonna get worse.
So what's your suggestion to do there?
My suggestion would be the same thing the Soul Company said, to dig it out, run fabric, you gotta ditch it to get the water away from the road, and then put at least 2 feet of gravel on top of that. You gotta get the water away from it. Leaving it like it is, it's gonna fail.
I did discuss Cindy about ditching by,
Right, Lou's.
no, Mrs., the lady the Shakespeare, Mr. Shakespeare's house. Mr. and Mrs. Shakespeare's house.
What else have you noticed?
Well, from what I've seen, I just drove across the Mudgett Road tonight,
Yeah?
and then the Miles Road.
Yeah?
Is he gonna be backing up the pavement there?
You mean putting shoulders on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the Mudgett Road,
Yeah?
that is horrible,
As in,
as in rough.
Well,
As in,
isn't
yeah,
that-
he hasn't put his top coat on.
Yeah, I think
that
it's just
should not be that rough.
that binder's on.
Around the sharp corner, that is horrible. That should not be like that. And Scott even said himself that SW Pool's coming up to check him every once in a while. So they're only making periodic checks. So them guys are gonna skim where they can. They're gonna do what they can. They're gonna do everything that they can to make the most amount of money without having to do the work.
What I've seen on that Mudgett
Probably don't
Road,
even get the slip.
on that corner, I don't think you got enough grade on it. I don't think they banked it enough. You'll know this winter. I mean, it don't go around, it kind of flattens out.
The hot top's all gonna slide off it anyway. The rest of that
Oh,
road,
no.
2 years.
Well, we'll ask them those questions.
Yeah?
Absolutely. I did just call today and say they haven't ditched by Mr. Shakespeare's house where the water laid right beside the road from the farm to Lou's. There's a ditch by their lawn, but then there's no ditch down to that little wet area. There's no ditching has been done there, so.
It wasn't in his contract, right?
I don't know, I'll have to pull out the bid package.
Well, I was told if there's any problems out there, the foreman would see it and go to Scott. Scott would come to the board, and the board would see Cindy, and Cindy would tell me.
Say that one more time. If you were told, you would be out there with him? Is that what you're saying?
No, I was out there doing my job, and I was talking to one of the foremen.
Okay,
And I was talking about the issue I'd called Buddy on, and I've talked about for all summer, about ditching the end of the North County Road before they hot topped it.
okay.
Then he brought up to me about the Miles Road, where the town line was and what they wanted to do there. I come back, talked to Cindy about it, and she told me to mind my business and not to be out there bothering them.
No, I said if they find something, they will go to Scott, therefore Scott will come to the board.
Right, and to mind my business that they'll take care of it. And he'll come to the board, and the board will go to you, and
We
you go to me.
discussed this when they did the bids, that we weren't all gonna be out there coming back with independent opinions on what could and couldn't be done.
Right, they did have a bid package.
Right.
Exactly.
But he's the road commissioner.
And now we're sitting here talking about ditching the other side of Whitaker's by them people's lawns.
Right.
So that's no different than when I was talking about the end of the North County Road.
Right.
Did they ditch the North County Road?
Yes, they did, and they lowered the pipe.
But they didn't go back up on the Miles Road.
They went up there and ground back to the town line, and went and found the town line.
Okay.
I could have sat back and we could have had a big hump there, but I didn't.
Right.
And I've been out watching them, I've been out on my own time,
Yep.
because I'm a taxpayer.
Well, I know I took, after we met with Bickford's at the end of the Tapley Farm Road, I met him at up on the Mudgett Road before the corner because there was water sitting there. And I asked him to put a hole ram, blow that ledge out, put a culvert at the end of that road that goes to the hill there. Tells the name of that road.